Okay, hi guys, welcome to this tutorial of 3D modeling. In this case, today I'm going to explain the basic features of 3D modeling. To complete this tutorial, you should know already how to do sketching. So you should have completed all the module of two-dimensional sketching. So let's begin. Business as usual, click on create, click on document, and I'm going to call it and to name this one basic 3D tools. Remember, when you hit create, you have to wait for like 5 seconds for it to actually create the environment, so please be patient. And then, following the same methodology we used to follow for sketching, I want you to memorize the routine when we start. For the first practices, you need to understand that the three planes that you see here, front, top, and right, are the planes to model a something. For the parts that you will be modeling, which are going to be fairly basic, we're going to try to use the top, because I will try to explain to you how to model things thinking about it like from the floor, from the horizon, from on top of a table. So we're gonna keep top. So I'm gonna hide origin, hide front, hide right, locate the camera, top. And now let's think about what we're gonna do. So everything that you want to make in 3D, right, will have to be created by something in 2 dimensions. In this video, I'm just going to explore extrude, and I'm going to explain the basic features. So by clicking on sketch, and it will ask me where would you like to sketch, I will like to sketch something on the top. I'm just going to show you some examples of what happens when you extrude. So I will start by drawing some shapes and then showing you the results. So in this case, I've drawn 4 different shapes, and all I want is to show you how it actually works. I'm gonna finish my sketch, click on the tick, and then the way you operate this is you click on sketch, so it selects everything you've drawn in one single sketch. Then you click on extrude as the operation, and it will try to extrude the shapes. All right, you can see here by rotating the camera a little bit, remember, with the right click of your mouse, right click and drag, or using the arrow keys of your keyboard, you can rotate. By rotating the image a little bit, you will be able to see like kind of what's the result, the expected result for this type of operation. Okay, so I want you to notice different things. First, here, if you just click on extrude, here you can say how much you want to extrude the shapes. You can say it specifically using a number, right, and a measurement in millimeters, or you can just click and drag with the arrow, and that will affect the way it is going to move. If you want to extrude it in the opposite direction, you click on this button that says opposite direction, and then all the shapes will be extruded in the opposite direction. And that's pretty much it for this case. Now, I'm going to complete the operation by clicking on the tick, so you can see the differences. Now, if you remember the basic sketches, let me rotate this a little bit. If you remember the basic sketches, I'm going to make it visible. There were 2 circles inside. So for this shape, the system understands that if it creates material inside of this frame, this material will be attached to nothing. So it will not be able to create an object that is attached to nothing, because these 2 coins, these 2 circles in the middle, will just fail. All right. This software is not designed for 3D printing. I mean, this software is designed for 3D modeling itself. And if physically you don't make sense of what you're actually trying to make, then the system will not do it. Whereas, as you can see here in the first 2 examples, with the circle and the square, you created, I created a cylinder, and I created like a kind of a cube in here. Very, very basic understanding of this. A circle is a closed shape, so you extrude it, you obtain this one. A square is a closed shape, you extrude it, you obtain this shape. But in this one, if you remember, what I drew was a rectangle, or yeah, like a rectangle, and inside I drew a circle. The system easily understands, the system easily gets, the software gets it, and will make this shape with a hole in the middle, just like the same with this frame. All right, so this is the first example I want to give you. Also notice how here it creates 4 different parts. Because they're not touching each other, it creates 4 different parts. The different colors are by default. The system just makes each part in a different color, so each part is actually different. All right. Now, the last bit I want to explain in here is how to make a hole. You can only draw on surfaces that are flat. So yes, you can draw here, but no, you cannot draw here because this is a curved surface. The way you draw on a flat surface is by clicking on sketch, and when it is asking you where would you like to draw, instead of clicking on a plane, you will click here on the actual surface. So everything I draw from now on in Sketch 2, everything I draw on Sketch 2 will be drawn on top of this. So notice how this plane is here, and the original plane, the top plane, is here at the bottom, but this new sketching plane was created on top of the surface. So if I create something in here, I have actually 2 options, and I'm going to show you the differences. I will just draw a circle here, and I will draw another circle in here, and I will click on the tick. So remember that the operation happens for the whole sketch. Let me turn off this sketch. If I click on the sketch and then I click on extrude, right? Again, I'm going to rotate to have a preview. If I extrude by adding material, right, then I will create material. But instead, if I click on remove, now it is making a hole. Now it is cutting the material. It is cutting inside. All right, notice how it is very different. If I click on add and change the direction of the extrusion, I will be creating more material, but in the opposite direction. Whereas if I click on remove, I will be making a, yeah, obviously to the other side. I will be making a hole in the material. I want you to notice also that the sketch 2 were 2 holes, so it's gonna cut both of the holes, right? And you don't need to cut through all the material. You can also cut through, let's say, half of the material. It also works with this gap in here, in which you just have to put the number for a dimension of how much you would like to cut. All right. So click on the tick to finish, and that's it. This is the way you can make customized holes. You make the shape of the hole and then you extrude the cut. And this is it for this video. This is what I'm going to teach you for this video. As usual, I'm going to pause the video for a second, make something with the instructions I just gave you, and then the idea is that you follow those instructions. All right, finished. So these 4 are part of the initial exercise. I want you to notice how this is part 1, this is part 2, part 3, part 4, and the plaque you need to do, the exercise I want you to do, this plaque, is part 5. Everything is in one part. Don't make different parts for this one. Just one part here in the software. Also notice how, well, I use text, right? I use circular patterns, I use circles and straight lines, I use some curves, but I want you to notice how when you play with the way that you make things here around, you can actually change this. You can actually make it look different. So I actually made a mistake in this one because that is 9. I didn't want to make it 9. So I'm just gonna change this extrusion. It's not gonna be 9, it's gonna be 3. So it looks like this. This is what I wanted. Now notice how I played with the different heights when extruding the material. I want you to write your name. I want you to make a shape like this one. Look at it. I'm putting it on the screen for a long time so you can pause the video and then follow it. All right, these are the sketches, and then I want you to play with the extrusion levels so you can actually accomplish something like this, right? So name in a couple of shapes, and that's going to be the activity that you should complete. Also notice this. Good luck.